Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udiraye nashta prayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha nanda gopa kumaraya govindaya namo namaha. Hare Krishna. So today we will be studying from 4th canto, chapter number 8. And the chapter is titled Dhruva Maharaj Goes to the Forest. So far, Maitreji has described about the daughters of Manu Maharaj, about the descendants of daughters of Manu Maharaj. But now he is going to describe about the descendants of sons of Manu Maharaj. Manu Maharaj had two sons, Uttanpad and Priyavrat. Yeah. So Dhruva Maharaj is son of Uttanpad. Yeah. So this is that chapter, but let's recite this verse and then we will discuss further. Please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Ma bhaistavalam tapaso durataya Ma bhaistavalam tapaso durataya Nivartayishe pratiyat swadhama. Nivartayishe pratiyat swadhama. Yato hi va prana nirodha asi. Yato hi va prana nirodha asi. Autana padir Mai sangatatma. Autana padir Mai sangatatma. So this verse is spoken by the Supreme Lord himself. very, all the verses are so important. This is very beautiful verse. Yeah, word by word translation by Srila Prabhupada ki. So Supreme Lord has spoken this verse to the demigods. Yeah, demigods were scared, they got feared. When Dhruva Mahārāja was performing the austerities, all the three planets were trembling. And then they got worried, and then they go to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of God. Now, a question may be asked, why, if they are so powerful, why do they need to go to Supreme Personality of God? Sometimes people say, I worship this demigod, I worship this demigod. Why are they going to the Supreme Lord then? Why can't they handle it themselves? If they are so much self-sufficient. Why didn't they go to Brahma? Why didn't they go to Lord Shiva? Why are they going to the Supreme Personality of God? Yeah? Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki. The Supreme Personality of Godhead replied, my dear demigods, do not be perturbed by this. It is due to the severe austerity and full determination of the son of King Uttanapad, who is now fully absorbed in thought of me. He has obstructed the universal breathing process. You can safely return to your respective homes. I shall stop this boy in his severe acts of austerities, and you will be saved from this situation. Let's recite the verse. Maybe one Prabhuji, one Mataji, please recite the verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Mabheshtabalam tapso duratya Mabheshtabalam tapso duratya Nivartayesha patiyat swadham Nivartayeshe pratiyat swadham Yato hiva pranamriyo asi Yato hiva prananirodha asi Atone padirmay sangatatma Autana padir may sangatatma Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Ma bhayestavalam tapaso durataya Nivartayishe pratiyat swadhama Yato hi vah prana nirodha asi Autana padir mai sangatatma. Very nice. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki. Please hear. Here one word sangatatma is misinterpreted by the Mayavadi philosophers who say that the self of Dhruva Maharaj became one with the Supreme Self, the personality of Godhead. The Mayavadi philosophers want to prove by this word that the super soul and the individual soul become united in this way, and that after such unification, the individual soul has no separate existence. But here it is clearly said by the Supreme Lord that Dhruva Maharaj was so absorbed in meditation on the thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that he himself, the universal consciousness, was attracted to Dhruva. In order to please the demigods, he wanted to go himself to Dhruva Maharaj to stop him from this severe austerity. The Mayavadi philosopher's conclusion that the super soul and the individual soul become united is not supported by this statement. Rather, the super soul, the personality of Godhead, wanted to stop Dhruva Maharaj from this severe austerity. I think we all understand this principle of super soul and the individual soul having their own identities, right? There is no confusion about it. We are a servant. And I mentioned earlier, it's like a son tells his father, Father, I want to merge in you. What will father say? Father, I love you so much. Father, I'm totally surrendered to you. I want to merge in you. I want to become one with you. What will father say? Okay, you love me, you surrender to me, you can serve me. You serve me, you look after me, you get me a glass of water, you bring my food, you clean my clothes. That's how we have the relationship. Similarly, same relationship between Supreme Personality of God and the living entity. Yeah. By pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one pleases everyone, just as by watering the root of a tree, one satisfies every branch, twig and leaf of the tree. If one can attract the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one naturally attracts the whole universe, because Krishna is the supreme cause of the universe. All the demigods were afraid of being totally vanquished by suffocation, but the personality of Godhead assured them that Dhruva Maharaj was a great devotee of the Lord and was not about to annihilate everyone in the universe. A devotee is never envious of other living entities. Srila Bhaktivedanta purports ki. Okay, let's do Mangalacharan and then we will discuss further. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamlam Gurum Vaishnavamscha Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raguna Amsajivam Savadetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bhuter Mahadbhir Yaima Puro Vibho Nirmaya Shete Yadamosha Purusha Bhumte Gunansho षोडशात्मकम् Solank Srishta Bhagavan Vachamsi Me Shri Krishna Sharanam Sharanam Gatam Katha Amritam Satat Pibatam Bhakti Vedanta Marga Pantanam Sarvaloka Rishi Dev Janma Prasannam Sarvaloka Rishi Dev Janma Prasannam. Hare Krishna, Prabhujis and Matajis. May the Supreme Lord please decorate my tongue. May the right words come at the right time. And may we are all truly able to glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead, serve Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, and all the living entities. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. So, let me share my screen now. So, now, like I said, so far, Maitreji has described the lineage of Manu Maharaj's daughters. Right? Now he starts talking about Brahmaji's son before he is going to talk about sons of Manu Maharaj. So earlier he had spoken about the rishis, Marichi, Adi Rishi, and all of them, right? So here Maitreji first tells him that other sons of Brahmaji, they were Nashtiki Brahmachari, like Sanat Kumar, Sunarad, Ribhu, and few more names he mentioned. They were Nashtik Brahmachari, and Grihan, they did not stay in a house. So a good concept here, they did not stay in a house in the sense. So here Guru Maharaj explains that just by staying in a house, someone does not become a brahmachari or a grahastha. You don't become a grahastha by staying in a house, right? Shastra says, na griham griham iti ahu grahini graham uchyate. Just by staying in a house, you don't become a householder. Only when you accept a wife, then you become a grihast, staying in a house, right? Only after you accept her. Otherwise, so many brahmacharis, rishis, they are staying in a like hut or four-walled space, right? So they became Nashtik Brahmachari, and they were able to control their energy, their Śrīmad, it was flowing upwards, right? And through that process, they became so powerful. And that is why they are so powerful. They're able to control. They're able to control so many things. They have achieved so many perfections in life through that process. So it's very important process. Yeah. And then after describing them, then he starts talking about other son of Brahma, who is lineage of Adharma. Again, another important point to understand, Brahmaji had a son, Narad. Brahmaji also had a son, Daksh. And Brahmaji also had a son, Marichi. Marichi had a son. Marichi's son was Kashyap. Kashyapji was married to, he had about 19 wives. All the population is actually mainly from, all the, you can say, varieties, different. A lot of progeny has come from Kashyap. Manu Maharaj, we Manushya have come from him. But every other, like the snakes, the demigods, the demons are born from Mother Diti, demigods are born from Mother Aditi. So all of them, they have come. So the point to understand is, very often we get hung up, and we also experience this in our lives, that one member of the family is so exalted, whereas another member of the family is not. Right? And due to our surroundings, sometimes the parents start feeling the blame. They start feel blame on themselves. What wrong have I done? Nothing. So this is a very important thing to contemplate, to think about. Same Brahmaji. He's having Naraji as his son, and he also has Adharma as his son. He also had Daksh Prajapati as his son, who in the whole assembly was telling that Parmeshti na chodite. Because Parmeshti is not even addressing him as his father. Parmeshti is who is the Guru of the universe. Because Guru of the universe asked me to get my daughter married to this Shiva, who is so inauspicious, I got my daughter married to him. In the whole assembly, he's addressing his father like this, whereas he's born from him. So at some points, you can't do much about it. It is beyond your control. It is all destiny. It is all providence. Understand the point? It's all providence. Karmana jayate jantu karmaneva paliyate sukham dukkham bhayam shemam karma eva abhipadyate. Bhagavan Krishna is speaking to Nanda Mahārāja, and he is telling him, Karmana jayate jantu. Only based on the karma, the living entity takes birth. Let me speak a little bit about. There are three types of bodies. A very important concept. Let's try to understand this. Three types of bodies. One is the gross body that we all see, which is made up of 5 elements, right? Fire, earth, ether, water, and air. Fire. This is our gross body. We all see that is one body. Right? And that body exists in all the planetary systems. Lower planetary system, middle planetary system. As you go in the heavenly planets, their body, the demigods, they also have a body, but their body is called Chinmaya. But that is also Maya, Mayic body. You understand? That is also controlled under the control of Maya. Okay. So that is one type of body. The second body is Suksham Sharir. Suksham Sharir, which is made up of 18 elements. Understand? Normally we say 3. What are those 3? Mind, intelligence, and falsehood. But there are 18. 5 Gyanendriya, 5 Karmendriya, and 5 Prana. And these 3 elements. Gyanendriya, we have Gyanendriya, but there are subtle Gyanendriya. You understand? This ear, this is physical ear. But there is a subtle sense of hearing. There is a subtle sense of movement. Right? There is a subtle taste. I gave you an example. If your tongue is burnt, you can't feel the taste, isn't it? So that is your subtle sense, which helps you get a taste. So 5 Gyanendriya, 5 working senses, 5 prans, different type of pran vayu, right? And 3, this is the Suksham Sharir.
What's the prana?
Different type of prans, Prabhu,
One from the mouth,
yes.
And one from the nose.
No, that's you just air, but there are different life airs. We discuss in the initial, when we discuss the initial chapters. Remember the creation we discussed? So there are 5 type of different prans, right? And three those mind, intelligence, and falsehood. These are in our body, and the soul is there. At the time of soul leaving the body, please focus. And then these 18 elements, they get merged and they get joined with the soul at the time of death, jisko aap mrityu kehte hain. What you call death. When the life air is coming out, at that time they all get combined and they carry the soul into the different body, right? Because of, as per your desires, as per your actions, etc., whatever you say, so they all go with you, right? And then it goes into the another body. So one is the gross body, one is the Suksham Sharira, right? And then the third thing where what happens, so this happens, movement happens from lower planet to middle planet to higher planet as the Jivatma is rotating. Then the third is at the time of total dissolution. Total dissolution when we are getting into the body of, or when the universe is going back into the body of Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu. Mahapralaya, yes, total devastation. When Brahmaji's lifespan ends, at that time, all of these are not there. At that time, only karma, only our karma goes. And that body is called Vatatma Sharir. Understand? Remember when we discussed the creation, if you remember when we discussed the creation, we spoke about the karma. Right? You have to go back. In the second chapter, in the second canto, we discussed, third canto, we discussed about the karma. Right? And based on your karma, then you get another body. Right? At the time of creation, when the creation happens. But all of these get dissolved at that point of time. So like this, there are three types of bodies: gross body, subtle body, and Vatatma Sharir, which is at the time of total dissolution, it goes back into the body of Mahavishnu. And then again creation happens, then we come out. Right? So that's the process. So the point that I was making is, so it is based on our karmas. That's why Krishna is saying, Karmana Jayate Jantu. Karma eva paliyate. Jayate as in birth, paliyate as in die. And then Sukham Dukkham Bhayam Shemam. Sukh, Dukh, and Shemam, protection. Karma eva abhipadyate. By the karma only, or based on your karmas, right? It manifests, or it is provided. Yeah, karma. So the point I was making is that, and now it also happens sometimes there is no living entity who is eligible to take position of Brahma. At that time, Supreme Personality of Godhead himself takes that position. He also takes the position of Indra. Remember, I spoke in the very first Manvantar, the Supreme Lord, he became Indra as well. Yeah. But this is good to know. This is good to understand how the whole Charachar is being controlled and managed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the point I was trying to make here is that nobody knows, that who all the living entities, we have children. The children, they are coming due to our past relationship, past karma. They are born in a family. Even if you remember, Bhagwan Kapil Dev says, very often it happens that they keep taking birth in the same family. Bhagwan Kapil Dev also tells this to Mother Devanti. They are so attached to the family, they keep taking birth in the same family when he's talking about the miseries of a family household. Right? So all of that. So it's beyond our control. So Brahmaji has a son, Adharma, and a daughter called Falsity, Mrisha. Mrisha Adharmasya Bharyasit. And then Adharm gets married to his sister Falsity, Mrisha. So that itself is the beginning of the destruction. Yeah. So from Adharm and Falsity, when they get married, then from their association, they have children. Who do have? They get Dambh and Maya. Bluffing, right? So very simple, when you are not following the religious principles, and you are living in the falsity, in the falsehood, then you are going to bluff. Then you are going to bluff because you are already following a religion and you are false. So, oh no, I did this, I did that, bluffing. And then when bluff is combined with illusion, then see what comes. Then comes greed. Yeah. Illusion is, this is mine. Then lobh, greed. You take, for example, you wanted $10,000. And once you got $10,000, then what happens? Then lobh comes. Then this is mine. How to protect this? Until you did not get it, you were desiring for it. The moment you get it, then you try to control that, cover that, how to protect that. And then we prepare to take any action to protect that. That is called lobh. And when greed and cunningness, nikriti, when they combine, then they give birth to krodh, anger. Obviously, when somebody tries to take away your possessions, then you get angry. Naturally, krodh will come. And when anger comes, then hinsa will come. Out of anger, you try to do violence. And if you can, and violence is what? Well, it's very simple. If somebody is weaker than you can hit him, you can push him. But if somebody is stronger than you, then what you can do? Then you are always envious of him. इसको कोई मिले, इसको मारने वाला, इसको कोई ठीक करने वाला मिले, right? Then out of envy we are praying somehow Krishna make some arrangement. इनका झगड़ा हो, इसको कोई ठीक करने वाला मिले. मैं कर सकता, if I can do it, then it's fine. But because he is stronger than me, then I'm running away. Then I'm making some arrangement indirectly. Right? That's envy. Yeah. And when anger and envy is there, then what will happen? Then quarrel will happen, which is Kali. And when quarrel will happen, then same thing. When you are fighting, either you are physically fighting or you are abusing each other. Yeah. Harsh speech. Then you speak bad words to each other. And when that is happening, then next thing is mrityu. Mrityu is not about just leaving the body once. Mrityu is what? Birth, death, old age, and disease is called mrityu. Then we are getting into that cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. Birth, death, old age, and disease. Because you have quarreled, because you have spoken bad words to someone, now you're getting into that cycle. Right? And when there is mrityu, then there is fear. Always we are fearful. That's one of the things when Parikshit Maharaj asked Shukdev Goswami. He tells him, Tasmat Bharat Sarvatma Bhagwan Ishvaro Hari Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Ichchetam Akuto Abhayam. If you desire to be fearless, then this is what you should do. Therefore, O Bharat, O descendant of Mahārāja Bharat, Bhagavan, which is the who has all the six opulence, Hari, who is also called Hari, who can take away your miseries. Ishwar, who is the supreme controller, who is Sarvatma, who is soul of everyone. See how many adjectives, how many clarities are given. Who should we think about? Smartavyas, remember him. Kirtitavyas, glorify. Yeah. Glorify his pastimes. Sing his names. Remember him. Ichcheta akuto bhayam. If you want to become completely fearless, this is the process. Yeah. So we have to do that. So when mrityu combines with fear and then comes yatna, excessive pain that we go through all the time. Isn't it? Because we are in this cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease, we are always going through pains, always worried, always concerned. Something is always chasing us, yeah. And then hell. Excessive pains combines with hell. You go hellish planets. all the description is given. Fifth canto, next canto, we will we will enlighten ourselves. Isn't it? So another important point to remember is if we are at the stage of mrityu, if we are at the stage of fear, so then it is confirmed that we have done all the previous steps. You understand the point I'm making? That means all the previous steps either we have done before or we are doing now as well. If you are getting krodh, if you get angry, yes, then before anger you have had greed. You must have had greed, that is why krodh is there. And you have greed, that means you must have had dumb, bluffing. Right? And if you are bluffing, that means you are already following irreligious process. You're not following religious principles. We all need to go away and think about it. Isn't it? Do our own analysis at what stage I am. If I'm fearful, then that means I'm already doing first 5 things. If I'm quarreling and speaking harsh words, then I've already done first 4. Right? Very important. And then after describing this, Maitreya Muni tells Vidurji that if somebody reads about these, he says to him that I have briefly described you the process of destruction. This is the process of destruction. Isn't it? Well, that's what's happening. You look around. Yesterday, I was talking to somebody and he was asking me, why are there so many wars? You know, like at international level, what is happening now? I told you earlier also, they seized the assets of Russians in all the countries, and some $1 billion were collected, and they are supplying equivalent weapons to Ukraine now. They haven't given them the money. They're not saying here is 62 billion. No. What they're doing is 62 billion. Okay, out of 62 billion, one country keeps 10 billion. Okay, my weapons go to Ukraine. I've given you 10 billion worth of weapons. This is 10 billion aid. My country has 5 billion weapons, 5 billion aid. So nobody is giving money to anyone. All they are doing is they are just getting rid of their old weapons, old warplanes, everything, and they're supplying to each other for what? And here, this country, they have gone and they have joined hands with, another countries. This session is being recorded, so it's not fair, it's not good that we talk about these countries and all. But the point you should understand is, so this Prabhu was asking me, Prabhu, so many wars going on, how is it going to end? And no, they're saying it's not going to end. In Gaza, they're trying to move Hamas. They're trying to destroy them. But what they're saying is they can't destroy them. They just push them. From there, they're going to move here. From there, they're going to move here. But the root cause is not resolved. That point you need to. Root cause will still be there. You are killing a physical body. You are killing a physical body, but your karma granthi is still with you. Karma granthi nibandhanam. The whole point is to, that jo granthi hai, the knot of the karmas need to be broken. That is not being broken by all this process, is it? Because then the living entity is, that Suksham Sharir is going. And with that Suksham Sharir, he is carrying all those things. And as soon as the body becomes strong enough, they will manifest. These children, they have everything. There is nothing that they don't have, but the more, as long as they're growing up, as their physical body grows, they will manifest. The karmas will manifest. Understand? So the only process that we can control is by glorifying the Supreme Lord. Right? Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishna. Punya Shravana Kirtana. Hriday antastho hi bhadrani vidhu noti suhridasatam. the Krishna, the super soul who is inside your body, when he hears about his own glories, it is not as if he is waiting somebody glorifying him, but through that process, he awakens, and his awakening means our other karma granthi, our other knots of those desires, they are getting broken. That's the whole thing. Like last time I said, Krishna told Arjun, Sarva karma khila partha gnane parisamapyate. Sarva karma. All the karma, akhila, in totality, gnane parismapyate. And what is that gnan? Bahunam janmanam ante gnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvam iti. Sa Mahatma Sudeva. Vasudev sarvam iti. That is the only yan. That Lord Vasudev is everything. That gyan, when that gyan comes, when that gyan not just by word, but you realize that. You understand? When you realize that, realization is different. I know there is God. I know this. I know that. We know everything. But when you realize that truly in your heart, that's when this thing will get cut. The knot will be destroyed. And that's when the Jivatma will become free. That's when that Vatatma Sharir, Suksham Sharir, all is then the liberation will come. Yeah. So going back to this, now after describing this, Maitreya Rishi tells Vidur that three Shrutvaitat, three times Shrutvaitat. Shrutvaitat Puman Punyam Vidhu Noti Atmano Malam. Someone who hears three times about this lineage of adharma, their mal, all the bad things in their atma or inside their soul or inside their, like not inside soul, but as in inside their heart gets purified. Vidhu Noti. Why? Because after hearing this, then you realize, I'm sure you all must be thinking now, right? At least if we start questioning ourselves, whenever there is anger, maybe we start questioning, no, this is not good. If I'm speaking harsh speech, no, this is not good. So that's what this hearing this will do. It is not as if three times you say to me, Prabhu, I recite three times this to you and now I'm liberated. You understand? It doesn't work like that. Okay. But yeah, so this is the Shruti Phal that Maitreya describes after minutes. There is a message in the chat. Who is this? Narendra Tripathi. Yeah, he's mentioning those 5 prana. Prana, Pan, Vyan, Udan, Samadhi. Good. Narendra Tripathi ji, Zoom pe nahi chalega. You have to come personally.
Yes.
Here and then talk. Okay. All right. So this is now we go back to our so first he describes about that, and then the next section of this chapter. So in this chapter there are 5 sections, 6 sections rather. First section is about adharm, lineage of adharm. Now Maitreya ji says, or Prabhupada says, Maitreya ji is so keen that he wants to straight away talk about the good son of Manu Maharaj. And even on those good 2 sons, Dhruva Maharaj is more exalted. So he straight away wants to talk about Dhruva Maharaj. It's like when you go to, take simple analogy. If somebody loves food and you go in a party and where they're serving food, if you love gulab jamun, you will go to gulab jamun stall. If you love ice cream, you will go to ice cream stall. Somebody who is a foodie. But here they're talking about, spirituality. They are glorifying the great personality. So he straight away wants to go to talk about Shukdev Goswami. So please, so keen to talk about Dhruva Maharaj. He has described that Adharam's lineage was this. So Manu Maharaj has 2 sons, Uttanpad and Priyavarth. Priyavarth is the elder son, Uttanpad is younger son. Right? Now Uttanpad had 2 wives, Suniti and Suruchi. They both had 1 son each. Suruchi's son's name was Uttam and Suniti's son name was Dhruv, not Dhruva, Dhruv. Dhruv. A is silent. Yeah. We often don't we get confused. Dhruva, Arjuna,
Yes.
Vidura,
Yeah.
Dhritarashtra. No. At least you who have studied Sanskrit, who have studied in your school days, pronounce Dhruv. Yeah, Dhruv Maharaj, Arjuna, right? Krishna. Krishna. That's okay. Krishna. Krishna. Yeah, okay. So Suruchi, now what happens is he has two wives. Suruchi and Suniti. Suruchi had a son Uttam, and Suniti's son's name was Dhruv. Right. Now one day Maharaj Uttanpad, he was sitting on his throne, and his son Uttam was playing with him. And Uttam wanted to sit on the lap of his father. Uttam came running, Uttanpad picked him up and seated him on his lap. And he was on his head, he was putting his hand, and he was, as a Vatsalya Bhav, in that mood, he was speaking to him and showing his love and affection to his son. Now, Dhruva Maharaj was also there. And as Dhruva Maharaj saw that Uttam was sitting on his father's lap, Dhruva also came running. He was only 5 years old. It's like you have two sons, you can see if one son is sitting here, other son wants to sit here. We all have experienced that. Now Dhruva Maharaj came running, and Dhruva Maharaj also wanted to get on the lap of his father. As Dhruva Maharaj came, Uttanpad did not look at him. Imagine father is sitting, son is coming, and father doesn't even look at him. Uttanpad did not look at him, did not pay any attention. And then Dhruva was still trying to get on his father's lap. As Dhruva was trying to get on his father's lap, now Suruchi was there, close by. Suruchi Ruchi means what you like. Ruchi. Suruchi is even superlative sense, right? And Niti is what is the principle, what is the best way. And Suniti is best in that sense. So from the name itself, His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj, once I was listening to Maharaj, and Maharaj very nicely explains. Ruchi means taste. Somebody who is too much inclined towards the taste. Whereas Niti means principle. Somebody who is telling the principle. Principle may be sometimes harsh, tough, but they are telling the right principles. So like this. So obviously, as the name suggests, so he had great affection towards his wife Suruchi, not so much towards Suniti. And that same affection then went towards children also. So Dhruva Maharaj was trying to get on the lap of his father. And as he was trying, then Suruchi got upset. As you can see in the picture, Uttam is already sitting on his father's lap. And as Dhruva Maharaj came, 5-year-old boy, then Suruchi started chastising him. And she tells him, Na grihito maya yatvam kukshav api nrapa atmaja. Because you nrapa atmaja, you are the son of king. See, this is how she's chastising a 5-year-old boy. You could be born from you could be the son of the king, but you haven't taken birth from my womb. Maya kukshavapi. Na grahito. You haven't taken birth from my womb. You could be the son of king. So that is for that reason, you are not eligible to sit on the lap of your father. What to speak of becoming the king? King is far, far away, but you can't even sit on the lap of your father because you haven't taken birth from my womb. Now, Dhruva Maharaj could not understand. And he was still trying. And then Suruchi just did not stop there. She further went on to say that if at all you want to sit on your father's lap, then you have to take another birth. You have to take another birth. You have to come from my womb. Right? And only then, yadikshasi nripasanam, if you are desiring to become a king, nripasan, right? You have to take birth from my womb. And then for that, she tells him, tapsa aradhya. You have to perform tapasya. You have to perform austerities. Because whose austerities? Whose aradhana? Purusham. Tapas aradhya purusham. तस्यैव अनुगृहेण में गृभे में गर्भे त्वम साध्य आत्मानम यदिच्छसि नृपासनम. See what a great instruction. Even though she is chastising, she is telling him, you have to perform austerity. You have to please that supreme personality of Godhead, that supreme Purush. Tasya eva anugrahena. Only by his causeless mercy. Anugraha, only by his causeless mercy, he will sadhya atmanam garbhe me. He will place you in my womb. If you desire to sit on the lap of your father, or if you desire to be a king. Now, Dhruva Maharaj, 5-year-old boy. See, you can see in the picture how he is turning away. Yeah. So as she chastises Dhruva Maharaj, now Dhruva Maharaj, he left that place straight away. He could not understand what she is trying to say. And angry Dhruva goes to his mother Suniti. And he goes to his mother Suniti, he tells her, and by the time he is crying. And by the time the news spread in the palace, all other maid servants, everyone had informed Suniti what has happened. And then Suniti, as Dhruva Maharaj goes to his mother, then Suniti, what she tells him? Then Suniti tells him that, my dear son, it is not your fault. Your father does not consider me worthy of his wife. He does not even consider me equivalent to the maid servants. So even she was very upset, she was very sad, and she was also crying. But my dear son, you can't do much about it. I can't do much about it. But now Suniti speaks. So far Suruchi spoke, now Suniti speaks. The very first thing, Suniti tells Dhruva Maharaj, Mam amangalam tat pareshu mamsatha. Mam amangalam tat pareshu mamsatha. Oh, my dear son, never desire or never think of ill, right? Ill fortune for others. See, Suniti, this is the first instruction. This is now Niti speaking. Never desire ill fortune for others. Because bhunkte jano tata yata. Bhunkte jano yata. People, right? Bhunkte jano par dukkha das tata. People who are giving trouble to others, they actually go through that same trouble first themselves. If you are angry on someone, the anger will first burn you. Right? It will first burn you. Mentally, you will go through that trouble first yourself. So she tells him, my dear son, please don't. And what your mother said is true. And then he asked, well, mother, what shall I do? And then he also tells her, she also tells him, Aradhaya adhokshaj pad padmam. My dear son, aradhana karo. Go and perform worship of who? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is adhokshaj, who is beyond the material senses. Go and worship his lotus feet. So whatever Suruchi has said, that is true. And then she gives him examples. She says, your great-grandfather Brahma and Manu Maharaj, right? They are able to perform their duties only by pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? In the third canto, we heard Brahmaji saying himself that I'm always scared. I'm always worried of the kal, of the time, energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why I'm performing so many austerities. I'm performing these duties. So Brahma, from whom everything has come, when he is making those statements, then what to speak of us? Isn't it? What to speak of us? So that's why Mother Suniti is saying that even your great-grandfather Brahma, even Manu Maharaj is his grandfather, right? Manu Maharaj is his grandfather. Even she's saying that. Even they had to do this. And then she tells him that, my dear son, I don't see anyone else. Na anyam. I don't see anyone else. Na anyam tatah. Padma palash lochanad. Dukkha chiddam te. I don't see anyone else, my son. The Supreme Personality, the lotus-eyed Supreme Personality of Godhead, other than him, who else can remove your distress? So go and worship. And as soon as Mother Suniti says that, Dhruva Maharaj, he leaves the house. He leaves the house, he goes into the forest. Now, as he's going into the forest, now Narad Muni comes. As always, Narad Muni finds out, he knows. Naradji, Naradji is also an incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So let's not have any doubt about Naradji. He's also an incarnation. In the first canto, when he described, Sud Goswami described 24 incarnations, Naradji is, I think, 17th, 16th or 17th in that. He has described Narsimha Bhagwan, he has described Sanat Kumar. They are also incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then finally, he says Krishna. So like this, he is described. So he is also an incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead. He knows everything. He knows what is going on. He knows past, present, and future. So as soon as Narad Rishi hears about it, Narad Rishi goes to Dhruva Maharaj. And he starts talking to him. And he first glorifies him. And he says that Aho Teja Kshatriyana. He said, the Kshatriya blood. You're Kshatriya. So he says, Aho Kshatriyanam, Aho Teja Kshatriyanam. Right? Manabhangam Amrishyatam. Look at this 5-year-old boy. He felt he is insulted by his mother, by stepmother, and he has taken that insult to the heart that he is prepared to go to the forest and do anything. He has taken a vow to go and please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now Naradji is going to test him. So he glorifies him. Yeah? So Naradji sees him. Naradji put his hand on his head. Right? And Naradji first start preaching him the philosophy. He says, don't be affected by honor and dishonor. You're only a 5-year-old boy. Jao khelo. Go and play. Why are you so much affected by this? Right? And man apman, these honor and dishonor. Soul is beyond all these things. And if at all you think it has happened, then he says it all has come due to our past karma. Then why worry? First, he says, first principle is honor and dishonor. Soul is beyond these things. Number one. Number two, even if you are still, afflicted, then consider it as arrangement of the providence. Because it has to come. Right? And one who understands the law of karma is satisfied by whatever comes by destiny. So don't be concerned. And what you are thinking of achieving, I think it's very difficult. The process advised by your mother is difficult. Even mystic yogis failed. So don't try. Yeah. Duraradhyo mato mama. Duraradhyo. What did he say? Aradhya adhokshaj pada padma. And Naraji is saying, Duraradhyo. It is very difficult. Even the yogis failed to do this. And then he says, in my opinion, you better go back. Go back to the palace and enjoy your life. But then he also tells him, by endurance and right attitude, one surpasses miseries. So he's telling him still this process. I mean, it does work. It is like, you are in a workplace, you are somewhere, your boss is always abusing you, he's always hitting you. And we say, no, hang in there. Endurance, patience, things will work out. That path is not wrong. Please don't take it otherwise. But he's testing. He's saying, by endurance and right attitude, okay, Suruchi is troubling you. Don't go to her palace. You have your own palace, stay in your palace. Avoid that. He's not giving him wrong advice. Please don't take it otherwise. So he's still testing him. So he's giving him all the right thing. But then Dhruva says, no. Whatever you have said is fine. Padam, please tell me. He says, please tell me the honest path to attain the most exalted position in the three worlds. 5-year-old boy. No. Because what did Suruchi told him? Yaditchasi indrapasanam. If you want to sit on the throne, then you should have to take birth from me, my womb. That means you have to die once and then take another birth. He said, no, I don't have that. Honestly, Naraji, whatever you are saying, it is beyond me, with all due respect. You have spoken philosophy, but my mind is so disturbed. My heart is pierced by the harsh words of my stepmother. I am not able to understand your instruction of these philosophical instructions, even though you are right. But please tell me the honest path. All right? Padam Tribhuvanot Krishtam. In all the three planetary system, please tell me how to attain that, an honest path. And by now, Naraji realized that this boy is strongly determined. Now he starts telling him, okay, go to Madhuvan, practice Ashtanga Yoga, and meditate on the Lord's form, chant Dwadash Akshara Mantra, and worship the deity. So remember when we discussed, Bhagavan Kapil Dev told his mother, even Ashtanga yogis doesn't mean they just don't do anything else. Ashtanga yogis, when they are chanting, what are they meditating on? Remember? Vaikuntha Leela Bhi Dhyanam. Even though they are sitting in a trance, but they are meditating on the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. My Lord is a charioteer of Arjun. He's controlling the chariot. The other enemies are trying to shot Arjun down, but Supreme Lord is protecting him. How he is driving the chariot, how he is handling this. So they are still thinking of those pastimes. Even though they are meditating, they are chanting the holy names, but they are thinking of the Supreme Lord's pastimes. So that's what Naraji tells him, go practice Ashtanga Yoga and meditate on the form of the Lord. Yeah? And do the deity worship. Right? And like this, Naraji instructs Dhruva Maharaj, and then Dhruva Maharaj continues with his journey. Right? Now Naraji comes to the capital of Uttanpad. As he comes to the capital of Uttanpad, he checks about Uttanpad's welfare. Right? And as he sees Uttanpad, he thinks Uttanpad was morose. By now he found out that my son has gone to the forest. He was regretting that I was not able to take care of my son. My son, he was so nice, so beautiful son. He had a lotus-like face. He was coming to sitting on my lap, but I did not care of that. So he was lamenting in his mind like this. As he was lamenting like this, he was morose. Then Naraji goes, and Naraji asks him about his welfare. Why is he so morose? Right? And then Uttanpa tells him that, my son was coming to sit on my lap, but I was very unfriendly towards him. I did not care for him. Like this, Uttanpad explains. And it is said that Naradji, when he inquired from Uttanpad, he asked him about how's your dharma, earth, and kam. He did not ask about the moksha. He asked, how are these three things going? Are you able to perform your religious duties properly? All right. As a king, are you able to generate enough income to take care of your your people? And are your desires being fulfilled? So he asked about these three things. So now, as Uttanpad regretting, so Naradji told him that your son is safe. He's being looked after. Devaguptam, that he's being secretly protected by he's thinking, my son, he might have gone to the forest, the wolf might have attacked him, they might have killed him, eaten him. He was thinking like this, he was worried. But Naradji convinced him, no. Naradji tells him he has gone to the forest and he's going to perform such a great achievement that it will even glorify your name. He tells him about the future, right? That Dhruva is such an exalted person. So Naradji informs about Dhruva's safety, that he is safe and his future success. After hearing all of this, it is said that Uttanpad, he resigned from the kingly duties and he accepted. He started thinking about his son all the time. Now on this side, Dhruva Maharaj continued his journey to the forest. He goes to the forest and he starts his austerities. He's performing those austerities. Now listen about his austerities. So little boy, as you can see, he's standing on one leg. And he's performing severe austerities in the forest. And this is how he's doing. So it is said the very first month, within 5 months, that 5-year-old boy will have a direct darshan of the Supreme Personality of God. So the first month, he only eats some fruit called berry and kapita. Kapita is a bale.
Once in 3 days.
Once in 3 days.
In fruit.
This
first month.
First month. Only once in 3 days. We do half-day fasting. We're looking at watch. Fasting till dawn. Suraj kyun nahi chup raha hai? Sometime, Matajis, they do that fasting. What is it called? Karwa Chauth. They are waiting. Why is not moon coming? They are phoning their friends. Have you seen moon in your locality? Somehow the moon is not coming in my locality. Right? Husband is sitting on the roof and he's checking, yes, moon, aa raha hai. Right? Like this. So many jokes have been made. I have this friend in India, he keeps sending the joke. And he was telling me that, my wife told me on the day of that Karwa Chauth, why they fast? They fast for their husbands, long life. Right? And then on that day, she made a demand. I want this jewelry as a gift. He said, I don't have any money. She said, gift lata hai, abhi kuch khana kha lu. Because if she eats, he is scared that he will die. He will not have a long life. So like this, So, but anyway, jokes apart, the whole point is, these are very inspirational. So he was so determined. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeka kuru nandana. That's what Krishna is telling to Arjuna. Single pointed attention. So this is how Dhruva Maharaj was determined. In the first month, he only ate bale fruit and berries once in 3 days. In the second month, he would eat only grass and leaves every 6 days. Think of that. In the third month, he was only drinking water once in 9 days. Right? Fourth month, he's only eating air in 12 days. Once in 12 days.
How come for the 5-year boy?
He stopped breathing. He's doing that pranayam. You know, pranayam, three process. Purak, Kumbhak, and Rechak. Purak is when we inhale. Kumbhak is when you hold the breath inside. And Rechak is when you exhale. This is the pranayam process. We never notice the Kumbhak part. We should notice. You can practice yourself. Inhale and then hold the breath. That is Kumbhak. And in that Kumbhak state, then you are trying to focus your mind on your senses, on your consciousness. Where is my consciousness? And you're trying to control your consciousness. That is the pranayam process. And then you exhale. So only once in 12 days. Yeah. So like this, Dhruva Mahārāja performed this austerity. And as he was performing that austerity, he was obviously Dhyanam Bhagavato Rupam. Very important. He was not thinking when the food will come, when the fast breaking time will come. Through all of this time, he was focusing Bhagavato Rupam. We don't have time, Naraji, but you can read yourself. Naraji very nicely describes the beautiful form of Krishna. He tells him, you should chant this mantra. And while chanting this mantra, you should visualize the beautiful form of the Lord. You should start from the feet. From the feet, you should go up. He's wearing nice anklets. Then you go up, he's wearing a pitambar on his thighs. Then you go up, he's wearing a belt on his waist. Then you go up, on his chest, he's got Shrivat. He's wearing a nice garland. Then you go up, his neck is so nicely built like a conch shell. Then you go up, his lotus face is so beautiful. His lips, his eyes, his forehead, his ears. He's wearing shark-shaped earrings, which are touching his cheek. Then he's got beautiful hairs. Yeah. That's what when Bhishma Pitama was lying on the bed of arrows, he was recalling those beautiful moments. My dear Lord, when you were on the chariot, your hairs were flying. Bhagavan Parthasarthi, that's why I keep saying, you're all under the shelter of Parthasarthi Bhagavan. May you all get on the chariot of Parthasarthi Bhagavan. May he protect you like he protected Arjun. No matter what the problem is, he will take care of you. So that beautiful form of the Supreme. So like this, Dhruva Mahārāja was meditating. Dhyayan Bhagavato Rupa. He was meditating on the beautiful form of the Supreme. And as he was doing that, he fully absorbed himself. He became oneness in the consciousness. That oneness in the consciousness. And then Maitreyaji tells Vidurji that Adharam Mahad Adinam Pradhana Purusha Ishwaram Brahma Dharaya Manasya. So what he's saying is Adharam Mahad Adinam. That Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Adhar of Mahat Tattva. Remember? Now he's starting from that. The whole universe, the whole point about how the whole universe is trembling. Trayo Lokascha Kampire. All three planetary system Kampna, trembling. Why that happened? Because his meditation was so strong, he became one with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that Supreme, remember, you also remember that Purusha avatar. Remember that photo that I showed you, all the three planetary system in his body. So he became one with that Purush. That's what Mahatma Maitri is saying. Adharam Mahad Adinam. The Mahat Tattva Adi, everything else. From Mahat Tattva became Pradhan. Pradhan, Purusha, Ishwaram. That Purush, Mahat Tattva, Pradhan, that Supreme Purush, Supreme Personality, which is Ishwar, which is controller. And then he says Brahman. Brahma is also part of that. That Brahma Jyoti is also part of that. That Supreme Personality of Godhead. धार्य मानस्य, उसको उन्होंने धारण कर लिया. His consciousness became one, so much absorbed with that. Trayo lokascha kampire. Then all the three planetary systems started trembling. Because he was only breathing in 12 days. We are all connected. We are all part and parcel of Supreme Lord. We are all connected in that sense. But if one living entity performs such an austerity, then like I'm saying, he became one with that. You understand the point I'm saying? That consciousness, that supreme consciousness, he withheld that. He became one with that. And that's what today's verse is we saying. Ma bhaist. Don't be scared. That's what Sri Bhagavan is telling demigods. As the trembling started, people started dying, people started falling off, who could not hold their breath for 12 days. What will happen to them? They've started falling around. Then these demigods, they did not know what to do. Then the demigods go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then they're telling him, Prapta Vayam Tvam Sharanam Sharanyam. You are the only worthy of taking shelter, my dear Lord. So we all have come under your shelter. Please tell us what is going on. And then Supreme Personality of Godhead tells them, Ma bhaist balam tapaso duratayat. Ma bhaist balam nivartayishe pratiyat swadhama. Yishe pratiyat swadhama. Yeah. Ma bhaist. Don't be scared. Because balam tapso, because of that balak, because of that child's austerities, and their austerities are durattayat, severe austerities. Nivart yishe, I will now go him. See? Now the Supreme Lord is saying, I will go to him now. I will go and see him and I will ask him to stop this. Pratiyat swadhama, oh my dear demigod, you go back to your abodes. And this breathlessness, yato hiva prana nirodha asid, this breathlessness that you are experiencing is because of the austerities of that person, who is Uttanapadir, who is the son of Uttanpad. Because what he has done is, my son Jagatma, my son Gatatma. My son Gatatma, because he has become oneness in consciousness, he has become one with me. So now the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we will conclude this chapter here. The Supreme Personality of Godhead spoke to demigods and he's telling the demigods, don't be scared because of the severe austerities of the son of King Uttanpad. He has become in consciousness one with me. This is happening. I will go and personally see him and I will ask him to stop these austerities, and then you will all be fine. Go back to your abodes. Don't be fearful. Yeah. So this is the So this is the whole point, Prabhuji and Mataji. If we are determined in our resolution, in our process, then the Supreme Personality of Godhead will come himself. Right? Very often we worry about, I'm not able to perform austerity, I'm not able to do this in my old age, what will happen? So Krishna says, if you can't remember me, I will remember you. I will come to speak to you. Another important point from today's session is the Guru. Very often we go and do window shopping for Guru. Who is worthy of becoming my Guru? But it works other way. If you are determined to perform the austerities, if you're determined to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he will make arrangement and send a Guru automatically. Naradji, he came himself. And then he initiated. This is the initiation. Naraji spoke in his ear. He gave him this mantra. He gave him this mantra and he said, perform this austerity. And then Dhruva Mahārāja said, you, as a guru, you tell me. And then Dhruva Mahārāja circumambulated him 3 times and then he goes. So like this, Krishna will make the arrangement. You will just have to be resolute that I'm going to perform the austerity. I'm going to please the Supreme Personality of God and He will send everything. Brahmande Brahmite kaun bhagyavan jeev Guru Krishna Prasad paye bhakti lata ji. Guru and Krishna Prasad aapko. Okay, we'll stop here. Grantha Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Prabhupada ki